Yeah, from what I read, it's amazing to see the impact that politically correct culture has on the lives of American people, especially in the campuses and universities, and in general all over the world. But I'd like to talk about what's going on in the United States because something very essential is going on there. South Park is one of the best animation series that really know how to surface things that are going on, and they had many episodes, satiric episodes, about the distortions that the politically correct culture brings to the United States. And what they're saying is that actually that the politically correct culture that was supposed to improve the lives of populations that suffered from suppression for many years, like Indians or Afro Americans or those that were under colonial suppression, actually turned into a frightening show of mouth shutting and witch hunting against anyone who seemingly has privileges, like the white person who dares to express an opinion that does not exactly go hand in hand with what is considered progressive. And we see that on campuses in the US, people are afraid to talk, are afraid to sound incorrect, maybe hurts a minority, and later on, even that lecturer might be sued or lose his job. And it really creates an atmosphere of terror. It's even the opposite to the social justice that they would like to instill. It's a policy that truly creates fear, and today it's a big issue in the US elections. Those that support Hillary Clinton's side and the left claim that Trump hurts many populations in the way he talks. Others say that he's doing the right thing. And many comedians in the US complain that humor is dead because you can't laugh about anyone or anything anymore. In short, something very strange is going on in the American society as a result of the politically correct culture, and we'd like to know, where do you think it is all headed? On the one hand, the American society is making a great effort to keep an image of equality and social justice, but on the other hand, it actually creates lots of fear and frustration for many people. Fear and frustration, this we can understand, because really it does not allow us to advance, to be in contact, to speak in a nice and open way with each other. We can't reveal any bad grudges that humanity is keeping. We can't treat them because without a clear diagnosis of what's going on, you can't search for a remedy or find a remedy, or even if we do have a remedy for it, to disclose that there is such a phenomenon is already a big problem, especially if it's in universities where we educate as if the younger generation, the next generation, everyone comes out of there distorted. And it's a big problem. Now, where does it come from? It comes as a result of us not knowing how to correctly use our ego. It was given to us in order to advance and advance nicely. But against this ego, there has to be the force of good, our connection, where on the one hand, you have the negative force, and on the other hand, the positive force. We don't have the positive force, only the negative one, where everyone wants to be above the others, to suppress others as much as possible and to control everyone. And obviously that this exists in each one of us, but where will we take the positive force from? And we can really reveal this positive force in nature if we will want to start connecting between us. Different societies, people of different shapes and forms to connect into circles. There's an education called the integral education, or the wisdom of connection. And the wisdom of Kabbalah, it speaks about it and teaches us what to do. And if we reach a state that we can reveal the positive force of connection, then we also need the negative force. And then the entire politically correct culture collapses because we actually have to reveal, without being correct, but to reveal all the crimes, all the bad relations and the negative attitude that we have towards each other. And when we'll reveal the bad attitude we have towards each other, then we will be able to balance it with a positive force, and then our society will be able to advance in two lines, actually by the third line that's in between them, where both the positive force and the negative force will complete each other and will advance. Because if now, suppose we stop the negative force without allowing it to become revealed, because we don't have the positive force, then society ceases to develop. But along with the demand for social justice comes also a lot of hatred and anger. Tell me, please, is this something that exists in human nature? Yeah? So why do we have to shut it in instead of correcting it? What do you have as a result of shutting it in? Afterwards, it breaks out in the form of Nazism, fascism, different other forms of hatred, leading to wars and bloodshed, murder, and so on. What do you mean that this is how it ends? Because you can't lock in this hatred all the time. It bursts out at a certain point and leads to terrible things. Or we do know how to use these things in a way that I do use my evil, but in a way that no one can accuse me of anything.